Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sakanavavadu, Sakanapunaktu, Sakavidyam Karvavakai, Tejasvina Vadidamastama Trishavake. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudevendra Yogindram, Nattva Jnana Pradam Gurum, Mumukshunam Hidartaya, Tattva Bodha Bitiyate. Good morning, Namaskaram. So we are in the session on understanding Jiva Ishvara Aikya. So in the last session, we come to the conclusion. You're saying Tasmat Karanat Jiva Ishvaror Beda Buddhi Na Svikarya. Tasmat Karanat. What was the reason? Sthula Sarira Abhimani Jivanamakam. When we say Sthula Sariram here, we can say Sthula Sukshma Karana Sarira Abhimani. We know now Jiva is the one who identifies with the embodiments. The embodiments are three. Therefore, that which identifies with the bodies is a Jiva. This is a Brahma Pradibimbam Bhavati. So this is the reflection of the consciousness. So we've gone through this one. So the teacher finished, Yavat Paryandam Tishtadi, Tavat Paryandam, Janma Maranadi Rupa Samsarona Nivartide. Until such time, one identifies oneself only with the body as it is me, then he is never going to be relieved from the samsara problem. So for this reason, Tasmat Karnat, for that reason, Jiva Ishvaro Beda Buddhi, the difference between the Jiva and Ishvara, Na Svikarya, do not have that kind of a understanding, which is wrong. So this is where we have finished. So this is something which is not we bargain for. Is it not? Our purpose is to understand what is the best way to get Shoganivritti and Shuga Prapti. How to be happy, how to be free from all the fears and the despair. That's the reason we came to the Vedanta. Then we are asked to find out that Shuga Dukkham is not in the object because it is from your mind. The mind projects what will make one happy or unhappy. Therefore, we have understood the reason that Shuga Dukkham that we are projecting on the objects can be modulated when we understand who we ourselves are. Therefore, we said, okay, teach me who I am. Then we've gone through this phase of Atma Anatma mix. Atma is a self, Anatma is a not self, Atma is a Chaitanyam, a sentient being, the consciousness, awareness. Anything that cannot be self-evident, no consciousness being, is a Chaitana, Anatma. Therefore, we did a bit of a study and understanding that, yes, I am the mix of Atma and Anatma. I have identified to the collection as Jivaha, Sthula Sarira Abhimani. Now I have an option to shift the focus of my notional identity of who I am with the body to the Chaitanya. So I have an option now, understanding now. I say option because we are not ready to take the plunge, but Veda says you have no option. That is you. So far we are okay. Now here the teacher says, Tasmat Karnat Jivoshar Veda Buddhihi Na Svikarya. Now he is giving you that you are that Brahman, you are that Ishvara. He's alluding to that big statement which divided the many people in the world, which is still dividing. Imagine you go to the temple to pray to God, and you've been praying there every day, and one day you go there, the door opens and the priest says, you are the God. Would you like it? No, you get very aggressive reaction, is it not? So that reaction happens to many people's mind. Even the many scholarly people say, no, this is wrong. You can never be equal to the God. God is different, I am different. I am eternally a slave of God. That's fine. Some says, yeah, I am part of the God, but I can never be the God. The wave can be a part of the sea, but the wave can never be the sea. That's correct. But you know, wave can never be the sea, but wave is the sea, because sea is the wave. So therefore, this is a very paradoxical truth that is going to come out of this Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta especially. And there are going to be differences. Don't worry about that, because this is a bonus. We didn't come here to know that I am the Brahma. How can you say that? When Hiranyakasipu said, I am the God, told Prahalada, don't say that Narayana is a God, I am the God. Is he not saying the same thing? Jiveshwara Aikya. What happened to him? He was wrong and he was torn into pieces by the very God. But there's the difference. He was having an asuri, he was having a demonic thought. He considered his body, his mind, his ahankara, his notional identity, his jiva bhavam is Devikam. He said, I am the only God. So he got it completely wrong. So therefore, what is being said here, this subtle knowledge can give you very vibaridat buddhi if it is not understood very clearly. So we need to understand it very clearly. So far, the Shravanam is finished. Shravanam is getting information to remove ignorance. Right? Now we have to go into Mananam. Mananam is to really understand, assimilate, and apply this knowledge. Therefore, there is no samshaya, there is no doubt. So, the question is asked by the student. Nanu sahankarasya kinchit nyasya jivasya nirahankarasya sarvajnasya ishvarasya tattvamasita Maha Vakyat katam abeda buddhi siyat. Ubhayo vriddha dharma akarna tattvat. Okay. Nanu, in Sanskrit, if you start the word, a sentence with a phrase nanu, means but. It means it's samshayam, it's a doubt coming in. It's the purva pakshi. Well, if you say, when you say something, when somebody is telling you something, you want to politely object that, you say, very well, but, so you start that kind of a suspicion, doubt, questioning. So nanu. Okay, if it is so, Saha ahankarasya. That one with the ahankarasya. Ahankara means the identity, notional identity, that I am this body, I am this jivan, I am this independent entity. That ahankarasya. That's what I have. That's what I have. You have. Every jiva has the identity that I am this person. I am Brahmin, I am Kshatriya, I am manager, I am rich, I am poor, I am man, I am woman. Veda buddhi ahankarasya kinchit nyasya. Nyasya means jnanam. Kinchit, very little. So that is something which we all understand. The more you learn in life, the more you learn that you know little. So it is fine. So we all understand that our knowledge is limited. So jivasya. So this jiva who is got a limited knowledge and massive ahankara, then he says, nirahankarasya, without any ahankara, without any false identity. How do we know this? The Veda says, Sarvajna. Who is this? Ishvara. So the Ishvara on one hand has no ahankara, no false notion of identity, no vanity, because he's Sarvajna. He knows everything, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. So you have on one end a jiva, that's I. Every time you say jiva, think about yourself. It's about you. So I am limited, I am arrogant, I have false notion about myself. Then you have this Ishvara who is all-knowing without any ahankara. So between these two, Tattva masi iti Maha Vakyat. Tattva masi. Okay, now he is introducing, he's a very learned student. He is now saying, oh Guru, Tattva masi, I know you're going to say, iti, ita, this kind of Maha Vakyat. We will see what is Maha Vakyas, the great sentences. Maha Vakyat, from those sentences, Katam abeda buddhi siyat. Siyat means to establish. Abeda buddhi. Abeda means non-difference. So between what? Between the jiva and Ishvara, between myself and the Ishvara, how can I establish non-difference? Katam, how can? How could? From what? From this Mahavakyas like Tattvamasi. So he's putting his question. So this is the Mananam starts. I understand everything. I hear exactly what you hear. See, when the teacher is teaching, the word is not clear, the diction is not clear, the sound is not audible. You ask questions, right? That is fine. That's a Shravanam. So Shravanam is capturing, I keep repeating this because it's very important in Vedanta. Shravanam is the phase in which you can ask question to grasp the input. So that, you know, in communication skills, they normally tell you, especially negotiating skills, when you negotiate with somebody and somebody make a statement, you before you answer it, you say, well, if I understand you correctly, you said, you repeat it. This is all Shravanam because you clarify there is no miscommunication between the two parties. That is Shravanam. The Shishya did not ask any question during this because the teacher was very eloquent. He articulated well, communication was going very well. But now he is asking a different question. It's not about diction or pronunciation or language. It is a substantive question. How can you say that Ishvara and I have no difference? Then he says, Vriddha Dharma, Vriddha Dharma Akrantvat. Ubhyoho. This Ubhyoho, this two. What is those two? Two Ubhyoho, Jivasya and Ishvara. These two naturally got Vriddha Dharma. Vriddha Dharma means contradicting features. They are not same. It's very clear. One is limited knowledge, one is all-knowing, one is all-powerful, limited powerful. So they are completely different. Therefore, how do you say that, Guru? So this is the question we all have. So for that, the teacher says, iti chena. Chetna. Iti, if you say so, like this, iti chet, if you say so like this, na. The Guru says, no. So Guru is first putting his point. Your question is very good, very articulate. Your points are right. But if you say so, this is not correct. So therefore, now we need to understand why it is not correct. To do that, we should go back to the quote the Sishya has said, Tattvamasi. It's a Maha Vakya. So what is the Maha Vakya? Where does it come from? Why is it important? The Maha, the word Maha means the grand. But here we should take it in two important meaning. The big, the supreme, the profound, the grand. Or then also subtlest, the most subtle, the most secretive. So if you understand Maha to have this both meaning, the Sukshma, Gupta, most subtle, secret, and supreme. If you put this meaning, then it gives you some understanding, which means you need to have a lot more care in understanding what is being said. And it is secret being said. Once it is secret and it is being told, once it is said, how can it remain secret? Secret is only when it is not known to other than you, is it not? But this Maha Vakyas, what you're going to learn, is forever the secret, Paramaragasyam, because Parama means very supreme Ragasyam, supreme secret, because this secret is, even if you tell so many times, it won't reveal its potency unless it is come into an anubhuti. That's why when Ramanuja, there is a story about two aspects of Ramanuja. He is such a noble, kind-hearted. When he learned this Mahamantram of Om Shri Namo Narayanaya from his Guru, and the Guru says, this is Paramarahasya, and by doing this japam, you would get redemption, salvation. For him, for Ramanuja, the mercy is so big. I am fortunate, I learned this Mahamantram, it's going to give me this liberation. But I am told that I cannot tell to anyone. The Guru had mistook the Paramarasyam as something to be told only to that, because the Vedas tells you you should only give it to the Adhikari. So there is some, in a way, Vakarika Satyam, it is correct. Guru followed the right thing. The disciple thinks is a Paropakari. How can this be secret kept inside? It has to be spread everywhere. So he goes to Tirukoshtiyur and he climbs up the tower of the temple and he invites everybody. Come, everyone. Don't worry about Adhikaratvam. This is for redemption for you. He preaches that. It shows his compassion. Of course, the story goes on and that's not important. But what happened? Everybody listened to Om Namo Narayana and they get salvation of it. Is the secret gone? Secret is still there. Maha Mantram is still there. But the recipients have not got the right adhikaratvam. They got the jnanam now. Not even they got a subtle understanding there is the mantram to give redemption for it. But they could not be Ramanuja same time because they ever have to do. See, we have three things in our thing: malam, vikshebam, and avaranam. Malam is the blemish, that we have blemish in our mind. So you need to purify the mind. Vikshebam means it is oscillating, vacillating. I want to do this, I want to do this. You are not focusing on the Maha Mantra that is given to you. So when your mind is wandering, your 100% focus is not in that. You won't get it. And avaranam, the truth is forgotten. You know, they say, when Bhagavatam says, when he was a dushtan, he was a cruel man, but his son's name is Narayana. So when he's about to die, the Yamadutas come there with this ferocious figure, frightening him. But he is thirsty, he calls his son Narayana. The moment he calls Narayana, he has nothing else in his mind, no other vikshebam. His only focus is his son now. Narayana he calls. He gets redemption. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Hey Ram," they say. Therefore, can we therefore say, I can do all this crime in this world because I know this trick, I know this secret. You just say Narayana or whatever, if you're Shiva Bhakta, Shiva, whatever thing you want to say, he'll give you redemption. Therefore, I do all this crime. When I have to die one day, on the deathbed, I just say this Mahamantra. Would you be able to do it? No. In Bhagavata story, there is his blemish is gone. He was lucky. Why I'm saying this? Many things that we learn here in the Vedanta, very profound statements that you are God, but makes no difference to me. If I have every jnanam, I even abuse who tells me that because you are stupid, you can't say that. So there's a method by which we need to prepare ourselves to receive this jnana. So that's why it's called subtlest and the supreme. And Vakya means, of course we all know, Vakya means a sentence. In Vedanta, everything is precise. I'm not going to go into the detail of the Vyakaranam now, but Vakyam means Padasamuham, words connected. I can't just say Rama, bed, night, tree. It's not a sentence. It's a collection of words. It has to have an association. Rama is in the bed under the tree. Then it's a Vakyam. Our Kala Vishesham is there. I can't say Rama is, then after 1 hour, bed, under, it doesn't work. The timing has to be there. So there are a lot of grammar there. So a Vakyam is something in which a meaning is conveyed. We take it for granted. No, all this is common sense. But when you come to Vedanta, because everything is conveyed through sentences and words, you shouldn't have any mistake in understanding it. So a meaningful sentence, it has to give Shabda Artha Pramanam. What is Pramanam? Do you remember that? We discussed Pramanam. Pramanam is the instrument of knowledge. I is a Pramanam. Aksha Pramanam. My ears is a Pramanam. I can hear. But there is the quality to the Pramanam. If you recall, Pramanam gives new knowledge which is not available from any other source. Then only it's called a Pramanam. So if I know, for example, how to forward a message in WhatsApp, and you do not know, I teach you, My words are the pramanam to you. New knowledge. Now you look at the internet, now you see the same thing there. It is no more a pramanam because you already know it. More importantly, eyes is a pramanam because it can see. It can only see. For hearing, I cannot be a pramanam. I need ears. Ears can only hear. Ears cannot see. So pramanam is therefore that which gives you a new knowledge, and that only gives that new knowledge. Therefore, the lot of meaning is packed here. Shabda Artha Pramana means sound, which I can hear. Artha, there is a meaning. Pramanam is giving. So therefore, the Maha Vakya is a supreme, subtle, profound sentence that gives a supreme, subtle, profound, secret meaning that nothing else can give. I took some time to expand this so that you know how it fits into where we are going. Okay, where is this sentences taken from? These sentences are taken from the Vedas. Veda is ocean-like. There are so many sentences in Veda. Why are we picking few sentences as Mahavakya? What about the Vakya which is not giving you this supreme, subtle, sacred meaning? All other Vakyas are called Avantara Vakyas. In Sanskrit, Avantara means intermediate. There are sentences, they are not really giving you, how do I put it? Ramana says, Mahavakyas give you, every Vakya gives you knowledge, right? Knowledge is something that you gain. Avantara Vakyas also should have the Shabda Pramanam. It has to give you knowledge. But it doesn't need to be an experiential knowledge. It doesn't give you an experience. So therefore, another qualification to Mahavakya is, Mahavakya also like any other Vakya, but giving a profound meaning. That meaning, the moment I understand, I experience it. Right now, you and I don't experience it. If somebody says you are the God, it doesn't, I don't want to experience it. It is not the Vakya's problem. It is our container's problem. That is why Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. Once you have the Shraddha, it'll click like a fire. That is why all this thing we do, rituals, all this thing we do, all the disciplines, all the good things we do, is not to get this knowledge. The knowledge is instantaneous. It is to prepare ourselves to handle that knowledge. The 100-meter dash, Usain Bolt ran, lasted 8.26 seconds. He practiced for 8 hours a day for 4 years. So the preparation is the key. So everything we do is a preparation. And that's what, therefore these Vakyas comes from the Vedas. So every other Vakyas in Vedas, this is the Vedantic view, especially Advaitic Vedantic view. There are some differences. But don't worry about the differences right now. Every other Vakya, what are other Vakyas? They are called Vidhi Vakyas. Vidhi Vakyas are the Vakyas which gives you instruction. Above all, Vedas are Shastras. Sasana idi Shastra, which instruct is a Shastra. Therefore, we expect instructions. So when you go to Veda, Dharmam Chara, Satyam Vata, Dharmam Chara. Vidhi Vakyas. Do that. Do Sandhya Mantram, do the prayers. be good, be kind to everyone, ahimsa. All these instructions are Vidhi Vakyas. They don't give you experiential knowledge because they are Avantara Vakyas, intermediate sentences. They make you to do something. What do those sentences do for a sincere? Of course, Shraddha is important. You have to follow those. So those instruction word sentences make you interested to know more. It gives you jnana utsaham, make you to look for more knowledge, look for more experience. Therefore, you go around. That's the reason why you read a book. I can't leave the book. It is so exciting, enticing. It is bringing your mind to focus, but it makes you jignasu. Jignasu is one who's interested in knowing. They are important. Therefore, they are very important. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying, Maha Vakyas and Avantara Vakyas. There was something is inferior. No, they are mediate sentence. They are very important stepping stones. You see, a stepping stone, we say, a stepping stone is a stone in which you step on. Why you step on? Because you want to go somewhere up. But if you use that stone as a stepping stone, you are in progress. But sometime for us, stepping stone becomes a blocking stone, stumbling stone. So many scholars, therefore, stop there. This is fine. They think that's the peak of it. This is fine. For me, I want to be forever, to be a good person, do good things, go to Swarga, come back in this world, live happily ever after. Fine. They've gone through a fantastic process. They are sitting on a step. So we talked about, so the Vedas give you many Vakyas, but then why we choose those things? And what authority that we have or the Guru has to pick up those words? I remind you to go back to the initial sessions we had about Vedanta introduction. Veda means to give knowledge. It is not giving a knowledge about biology, chemistry, physics, about the world. Even if you just learned about this, Degam Annamaya Kosham. The body is made out of food. You eat the food is the body, and food it becomes. That's it. Veda doesn't tell you anymore. So therefore, if you are interested to learn about how this body works, I'm afraid you need to go to biology, medical school. That's not the interest of Vedas. Why it is not interest of Vedas? Vedas teaches you life sciences, right? It teaches you how to handle the life and tell you, go and learn about the life sciences. The reason why it does not dwell into this because this will change. It is interesting to point to you that this will change. Equip yourself, go and learn all this and sustain in this world for dharmartha kama purushartham. But I'll tell you more about things that you ought to know. Therefore, it is teaching you nitya, anitya, vastu in the world. What is permanent, what is impermanent. It does not dwell into the anitya vastu in great detail because it treats everything as avidya. So avidya is not just ignorance. Avidya is not knowing the nitya, anitya, vastu viveka. So all these things we learn, my computer science degree, management degree, chemistry degree, whatever you have, they're all avidya in one sense because they take you away from knowing the truth, but help you deal with this. But don't I have to learn this? You have to learn it. Ambal is called Vidya Avidya Swarupini. This knowledge also got in Saraswati Puja. We put our hammer, knife, chemistry book, singing book, harmonium, or tools. We worship them. Avidya Swarupini. Important to learn in this knowledge. That's why Veda is also called, Bhagavan says in Gita, many times he says this, Paravidya, Aparavidya. Paravidya is supreme knowledge. Aparavidya is lower knowledge. So Vedas do give you both. The Paravidya is about the truth, is contained in sections of the Veda. Veda got a lot of branches called Saga. Each Saga got Brahmanyam, Aranyakam. Like that, there are sections there. Upanishad is a part of it. Vedantam, we call it. The Vedantam also have got, they don't have Upasana much, but they have some Vidhi Vakyas there. That Upanishad got Upasana part as well. Mantropanishad has got a mantra, Brahmanam is there. But there are sentences which are considered as Mahavakyas. There are many, many Mahavakyas. But there's a definition we are going to add in Vedanta, especially in Advaita Vedanta. Mahavakya is the Vakya, the sentence, which reinforces and give the experiential knowledge, anubhuti, of what? Of Jiva, Ishvara, Aikyam. Jiva, Brahma, Vedanta, Ragasyam is this. That you are that. So those sentences, of course, I want to mention a few difficulties in this. This is about the Vedanta. In Vedanta, there are different schools, and they have a very different interpretation of it. Right now, you take it as the stepping stones. So the Upanishad, what is Upanishad? I briefly said before, the Vachyat Upanishad. Upanishad. Upanishad and Vedanta are the same. Upa means, Upa is a prefix, but it has got a lot of meanings. One meaning is near, higher, near. Ni means Nikshaya Jnana, definite knowledge. Shat means that which removes samsara. So Upanishad, this is Shankara's definition. Upanishad means that knowledge which is removes samsara, which is basically the knowledge about Atma, the Brahma, nothing but Brahma Jnanam, Atma Jnanam. Upa means supreme, given nearby, given to you by the Guru. So all this that we are learning, at least understanding a little bit, is to have this imparted by a Guru. Who is the Guru? What kind of quality Guru must have? Should I trust this Guru or not? All that we have to learn, will come. But if I learn through somebody else who seems to be a little bit knowledgeable, or from a book or internet, is it not right? Is it okay? It will be avantra vakyas making you more jignasa for it. It makes you pure. See, somebody asked a question in WhatsApp sometime back, Adhigaratvam is not there, should be steady. I don't have this Samadhamadi gunas. I am still getting angry. I am not peaceful in myself. I'm interested to hear all this Vedanta. Should I wait for that quality to come to me and come here? Ideally, yes. But when can I have a bath when the tide is end? No, it never come. But there is an allowance given, because knowing that you don't have the quality, knowing that you long for the quality, but you sit and listen to those who will only listen with the quality, will give you the quality. You know what I'm saying? Even if I do not have the quality, but I sit in satsang and listen to those Bhagavad Upanyasam, Vedanta Upanyasam, the bhajan, when I am there, but when I have the longing that I want to have the quality happens. The quality comes. So therefore, it is in a way a shortcut. That's the reason why Bhakti Yogam is preached. Fine, if you don't have all this, go and surrender. Surrender with the ability to learn that knowledge. Therefore, Upanishad is something we can learn. We will find the Guru. The Guru will come to us. Many Gurus will come to us. Therefore, the Maha Vakyas come from the Upanishad. And there are a lot of Upanishads there. There are four Vedas are there. Rig Vedam, Yajur Vedam, Sama, Atharvana Vedas. And there are many, many Upanishads and many things gone. And there are 108 Upanishads that been enumerated, of which 10 or 12 or 15 are considered as Maha Upanishad. The Upanishad that are of major importance. I think the importance also derived, illustrated because on those Upanishads, for example, Shankara has written Bhashyam for the 10 Upanishads. So this 10, 15, they are absolutely talking about the Brahma. They are not about a particular deity, or not about particular point. Like there's a particular Garbha Upanishad. Garbha Upanishad talk about the jnanam, about how the jiva embodies into the garbham. It talks about how this shuklam shronidam, the sperm gets into the egg, and then how it forms into a fetus and how it turns the head around. Such a precise way. It gives you knowledge. But here, the Upanishad we mention about, are those Upanishads which talks about the Jiva Brahma Vicharam, Jagat Vicharam, Jiva Vicharam. The Upanishad is an expression of ecstasy. When Ramana's statement, Adampa Ni, in Tamil it means same as Tattvamasi, is considered as Ramana Upanishad. The great Mahans, when they make some statements, it is said as Upanishad because it is an expression of ecstasy, anubhuti. Therefore, can I take, instead of, why not I just leave up all the books, 108, okay, 10, 12, there are books printed. The printed books also called Upanishad book, right? So we're not talking about the book, the Upanishad. So can I take the books and read it? Yes, you can read it. But the Upanishads are not systematic instruction manuals. They are not like Tattva Bodha, they give you, start from here, take you there. No. It is an instance of a life of a Parajnani, in his expression comes out. Like Eureka, when the scientists ran around, Eureka, Eureka. We identify with him. His Upanishad is that. I found out, I found out. Nothing you can understand by this. Then you have to go into what he found out. Therefore, Upanishads they are not also slogas, Archana mantras. You don't memorize Upanishad and recite in front of God. Of course you can do. It's always good. But it is not like a Sakasranama mantra. They are for Jnana Vilasam, Jnana Visalam. You have to understand every letter of it. So here, the 10, 11 Upanishad, like in Rig Veda is Aitariyam, Kaushikam, Taitriyam, Kathopanishad, Shvedasva Upanishad, Bragadaranya Upanishad, Isha Upanishad. They come from the Yajur Veda. Chantokyam, Kena Upanishad. They come from Sama Veda. Mandukya, Muntaka, Kaivalyam, they come from Atharva Veda. So all this you can learn from internet. All this are there. Of this, the Aitareya Upanishad in Rigveda has got a sentence. There are many, many sentences. The one that picked up by the great seers is Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahma. Shankara says this is a Nigamana Mahavakya. Nigamanam means after analyzing, concluding. So in this Aitreya Upanishad, you're not going to the Upanishad right now, but in the Aitreya Upanishad, everything is analyzed, and in concluding statement comes this sentence, Prajnanam Brahma. Therefore, when we learn the Upanishad, we don't start with that sentence, we conclude the sentence. That's why it's called a Nigamanam. It's a Mahavakyam. Therefore, it is got potency to dissect, understand, and learn. Then there is a sentence called Tattvamasi. This is what we are going to take now because this is what been cited by the student. What's the time? Okay. So this comes from Chandogya Upanishad. It comes from Samaveda. Samaveda, for those who may not know, is basically Rigveda mantras in the chantas of Sama, in a musical form. And there are Upanishad there. In the Upanishad called Chandogya Upanishad, Chandogya itself says Sama, chantas. The Upanishad names come from different. We'll discuss it another time for different reasons. Either by the Rishi's name or the first word of the Upanishad, like Kena Upanishad. Kena it starts. So there are different ways it is named. So that's not important. So in the Chandogya Upanishad, there's a Mahavakya called Tattvamasi. Tat, Tvam, Asi. Tat means that. Tvam means you. Asi means that being. You are. You are that. Even short, when you say Tattvam in Sanskrit, Tattvam has got as a compounded single word, it is called. They say philosophy. Okay, philosophy is an equal in English word. It is a concluding assertion. Okay, philosophy, you can type it. But when you consider internally, Tattvam, the philosophy itself is the Mahavakyam. Tattvam, you are that. Well, this is again a Mahavakya, which is very hotly debated. In Madhvacharya, he says, this is not the way to read this. He says, Atma Atatvamasi. The I is missing, so Atatvamasi. You are not that. Why should I take the struggle of reading all these Vedas to come to the knowledge that I am not that? I know it. Because difference is always obvious. I don't need to know. Somebody tell me that I am not limited. I know I am limited. Nobody needs to tell me that I do not know anything. I know it. Nobody needs to tell me that I am not God. Of course I am not God. So we will not go into the debate right now, but there are many, many interpretations of it. But this is a Mahavakya. There another one called Aham Brahmasmi. Comes in the Brihadaranya Upanishad. So the Tattvamasi is called Upatesa Mahavakya because it comes in you look at the case Tattvamasi, you are that. It is second person, singular, Ekavachanam. So that means somebody is telling somebody, Tattvamasi, you are that. Obviously, it has to come from the Guru. Therefore, it's called a Guru Mahavakyam, Upatesa Mahavakyam. If you go to Shabarimala, for example, Shabarimala Kshetra Mahamantram is Tattvamasi. So you go Sharanam Ayyappa, the Guru will say Tattvamasi. So Ayyappan is a Jnana Guru. He is a manifestation of Hari and Hara. Everything. So it's Upatesa Mahavakya. Whereas Aham Brahmasmi is Anubhuti Mahavakya. It comes from the Yajurveda. Those, the luckiest one who has got that maturity, mental purity, karma vimochanam, learn from the Guru Tattvamasi, he recognizes, I am Brahmasmi. It's very important to know this is Anubhava Mahavakya. It is not an assertive Vakya. I cannot say I learned all this Vedas. I can't say I am Brahma, like Hiranyakasipu say. It's not a Vakya to utter. It's not a sentence to say. So that's why when you read even Visishtadvaitam, when you say, no, this is not, you cannot say, it literally means you do not say this. But you feel it, experience it. That's why it's called Visishtadvaitam. So you cannot understand Advaitam without understanding Visishtadvaitam. That's why these two are supreme to transcend. They are the major stepping stones. But don't use them one as a stumbling block to reach the other. You need both. So Aham Brahmasmi is the Anubhuti Mahavakyam, is what you and I need to always do in Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasana means what? The third stage. Always maintain in our mind. To maintain the mind, it has to be absolutely sitting that I believe in it, I know it, I recognize it. But I am not in the stage, therefore I am in the Mananam stage, that how do I get this Anubhuti Mahavakyam? I am the Brahman. Guru says, you are the Brahman. Therefore I go to step. How do you say I am the Brahman? I am only some part of consciousness. You're going to say, yes, Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahma. But I am only a part of it. Then say, I am Atma Brahma. The self is Brahma. This last Mahavakya, I say last, in the fourth, the last one, is in the Mandukya Upanishad. It comes in Atharva Veda. This is called Bodha Mahavakya. Bodha means introductory. In this Upanishad, when you read this Mandukya Upanishad, it starts with this, because Mandukya Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad are those for those learned people who has understood this well, that it is starting with, I am this self. Because it is making you to be a jnana nishta, to making you to stand on that thing. So you can see, therefore, these four sentences, four Mahavakyas, which are picked up by the Acharyas to teach us the supreme knowledge. I have time. I have only 5 minutes. So I would not take it right now in a deeper way. So we'll just stop it here with explanation of this. So therefore, we are taking this Mahavakyas as a marker for us right now. This is not an Anubhuti Vakyam for us. We have not the capacity, because, I told you before, we have this malam, blemish. What is a malam? I don't have malam. I'm not about the gross malam, which is what you excrete every day. That's not. The equivalent of that in a subtle form is in the mind. That's why it's called malam. I tell you that's something which is, you need to get rid of it. If I think, I've been so happy person because I have a beautiful car, or Mercedes I am in my portico. But one day I open the door, and my neighbor has got a Tesla, a new model, 100,000 pounds. That's it. My day is gone. I'm so upset, envious, greed. This is malam. No matter how many times I read my Tattvamasi, I go nowhere. So there are so much malam in our mind. So we need to purify, get rid of this malam. How do we do this? Because I want to because I got this, I treat it as a Avantra Vakya. It's not a Mahavakya to me yet because it doesn't give me experience, but it excites me. I'm becoming jignasa now. I want to learn it. I don't have the qualification, but being in the class, being in satsangam will give me the qualification. Thank you for that. But I want to know, is there a way I can get rid of my baggage? Because I have the malam. When you told me about the greed, yes, I have. Somebody didn't smile at me, I get upset. Somebody didn't invite me, I get my ego hurt. So I have so many such stacked up malam in me. Give me a way to get rid of it. So that when I come to the next class, I come with less, forgive me word, shit. Veda says, yes, this is what you have to do. All through your life, because this malam will come back to you again, even if you get rid of it. Even if you become a jnani, you should do it. Why should Shankara, Ramanuja, all these people, when they got the Paramajnanam, liberated, get rid of themselves? Why Krishna? We all love Krishna. We worship Krishna. Radha Krishna is very interesting. Bala Krishna is very interesting. When you come to Gita Krishna, we stay away. We like a cuddly Krishna, cheeky Krishna. That's nice. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's great to do it. But when he stands tall and labor the point, know me well, we take a step back. Well, this is complicated, Krishna. Come back to me, Gokulashtami. I will worship you, make bhakshana, and we eat together. Krishna wants to understand him. Don't prize anybody. Fine, you prize somebody to motivate them, but you don't prize them just because it makes you happy. You understand them. God doesn't want to be prized. That's why in Bhagavan says, when you read this Bhakta state, you go to God to ask for help, fine. When you ask for help, what do? You go there, Karuna Murti, Aishwarya Prabhu, because you want Aishwarya. Karuna Murti, you want Karuna. Whatever you want that you don't have, you put on somebody else. When you want to go to, you do a pitch, elevator pitch to get the money from the venture capitalist, you tell them exactly what they have, what they offer. Is it not? We do the same trick. And Vedas tell you to give the trick. Oh, you want that prayojanam? You want the kalyanam to happen? You want this education to come? Say this mantra, thrice this Lord. Perform Sita Kalyana Utsavam. Perform, read Sundaragandam. So I'm saying everything is fine. We must do it. But there's some stage where I say, stop pricing me, understand me. Krishna says, understand me. Arjuna, understand me. Imagine Arjuna after the first chapter. Oh, okay, you told me something very profound in second chapter. Now I say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I don't want to know anything anymore. He would have get salvation. He would have given the grace by God. But he would have born again to fight again. But he is lucky. He said, Krishna, that's fine. But what is this? Why is this? Who are you? You said you talked to Ichwagu, you talked to Sun. Sun is here. You just born in 100 years before in Vrindavan, in Devaki. How come you were in Sun's time? Arjuna was the greatest devotee. He did not prize him. There's an Upanishad called Prasanna Upanishad. Questions. Vedanta is all about question. Anything, I enjoy learning like this because my teacher in the school days taught me the same thing. You instead of reading the textbooks, each paragraph, you write a question. Go back. You read a paragraph, write a question. The question comes to your mind. Read this next paragraph. If you don't find the answer, write another question. At the end of the chapter, you have questions. Either the book hasn't solved you or you haven't found it. Now you go back to the study. Now you don't study the text. You take the question, look for an answer. It's a beautiful way. Upanishad is all about this. Shankara is all about it. May the scholars write about it. Ask questions, ask questions. Therefore, never afraid to ask questions because seekers are we. So these Mahavakyas have taken as the guide marks, And we look at the Tattvamasi as a Maha Vakya because the children have quoted this. Again, we will not dwell into this because we are not there yet. Of course, even whatever little I say, it is only a marker, right? So I am learning with you. So what we do in the next session, we have a little bit more introduction to this Mahavakya, but then we get back to the Tattva Bodha because we will not get into the Vicharam in great detail in this course, but we need to finish Tattva Bodha and then come back to certain qualifications, and then we can take up, God willing, and we have the capacity to continue, we will take up those Upanishad. So I will conclude here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now, may I ask Sri Bala to say the Shanti part?
Okay. Vasato ma sadgamaya. Vasato ma sadgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotir gamaya.
Tamaso ma jyotir
gamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om
Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Oh, thanks, Adina.